Hey everybody, just a quick heads up before we get into the episode this week. My 4th annual 24-hour Extra Life charity stream to raise money for the Stollery Children's Hospital here in Edmonton is going down Friday, November 3rd and Saturday, November 4th. Unlike previous years where I've done 24 straight hours, I'm too old for that now. We're splitting it into two 12-hour shifts. I'll be going from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Mountain Time on Friday and Saturday. I hope you can swing by. It'll all be on Twitch, twitch.tv/memberthegame. And if you donate $20 or more to Extra Life, not only will you get a tax receipt, but you will be entered into a prize draw to either win a video game of your choice or some Remember the Game swag, and we'll be auctioning off a chance to be my guest on an episode of Remember the Game in 2024 as well. So we're hoping to raise $25,000 this year. We cracked over 20 last year. I got a good feeling about it. Friday, November 3rd, Saturday, November 4th, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Mountain at twitch.tv/memberthegame. All right, good enough. Let's get into the show. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Remember the Game. It is my retro gaming podcast where every week a buddy of mine and I sit down and we geek out about dark games we played back in the day. My name is Adam Blank. Thank you so much for listening to the show. And this week it is episode 269. Nice. And I take another big, fat, juicy, slobbery bite out of my backlog by talking about the winner of our August Patreon poll, which is Devil May Cry. If you don't know, our Patreon polls run every month, and this year they've all had themes. And August was the PS2 poll and their Survivor poll. So every day for a week, the game with the fewest votes gets eliminated until one's left standing and it wins. And in August, our PS2 poll came down to Katamari Damacy. I think I said that right. Need for Speed Underground, Tony Hawk's Underground, and Devil May Cry. And it was a fucking dead heat for 3 days until Devil May Cry eventually came out on top. For the record, if you're mad that the other 3 games lost, they will all probably get episodes eventually. But Devil May Cry won, so that's what we're talking about. And I was nervous about this one for a couple of reasons. Number A, I generally don't love hack and slash games like this. Some of them click for me, some of them don't. So I was a little bit timid. Trepidatious. Is that I think that's a real word. I was a little bit hesitant. That'll go. Because it's a hack and slash game. And number 2, everyone says Devil May Cry 3 is the crown jewel of the series. I get so many messages from people being like, why are you playing 1? Play 3. I mean, the reason I'm playing 1 is because it won the poll. But for the record, I have played Devil May Cry 3. I played it years ago. It was a free PS Plus title on PS3. I played it because I had no money and couldn't afford to buy another game, so I played the PS Plus one. I beat it. I don't really have any fond memories of it. Like, I don't hate it. I just remember thinking kind of like, But again, it's just the genre is not really my taste. But my gaming palette has expanded over the years. And like I said, it won the poll, so I was obligated to play it. So I bought a copy of Devil May Cry for my PS2. I played it in its original form. I was pretty hard on it on social media over the last couple of weeks as I've been playing it. A couple of my streams of it have gotten pretty heated. But when we sat down to record the episode this weekend, I found myself kind of hopping from like something I liked about it to something I didn't like about it, more so than I normally do on the show. And it didn't end up being as harsh of episode as I think my Twitter and Instagram posts might have teased it being. That camera though, I went off on that camera. What a fucking joke the camera on the original Devil May Cry is. I want to apologize to Mega Man Legends and all the people that love that game from last week and how hard I was on its camera. That was fine. Devil May Cry's camera can rot in the 20th depth of hell. Fuck me. I could not beat it. I refused to use easy mode, and I got stuck on... It was like mission 19 or 20 out of 23. It was very close to the end. It was the one where you fight the blob nightmare thing for like the 8th time. I could not beat it, but I put a good... probably 12 or 15 hours into this game. I have a lot to say about it. My pal Miklos makes his triumphant return to the show this week as well. He played Devil May Cry back when it came out. And despite experiencing it in 2 different decades, we actually had a lot of the same gripes and a lot of the same praises for it. So the audio of our conversation is a little funky. I cleaned it up the best I could. I think it's listenable. And we'll get to all that in just a minute, because speaking of something I think is listenable, it's time for another edition of the Remember the Game infamous intro. And if you're new to the podcast, welcome aboard and consider this your warning. Our intros are kind of long, but they're fun. And you don't have to deal with the Devil May Cry camera. Fuck, I hate that fucking camera. But if you do want to skip it, go to about the 30-minute mark of the podcast and you'll be into Devil May Cry talk. Hang around. It's fun. We talk video games and stuff. It's not all just plugs. That said, I do have to do a couple of minutes. That's how I keep the bills on. I got to do my plugs. Quick heads up, I am on Cameo now. Cameo.com/AdamBlank. They're pretty cheap. If you want me to yell at someone you like, someone you hate, you want me to whatever, I am a slut. I will do anything for money. So hit me up on Cameo. We also have merchandise, hoodies, t-shirts, coffee mugs, posters, all kinds of stuff, rocking incredible art, all designed by my man Joe from 4545creative.com. You can check out our whole merch catalog at rememberthegamepodcast.com if you're interested. Great way to support the show. And of course, if you don't like clothes, I get it. You can always support us on Patreon. We are now finally available on fucking Spotify. If you sign up on Patreon, all the Patreon episodes can be there on Spotify. You don't have to deal with the Patreon app anymore. Hallelujah. We offer 4 additional podcasts every week. Every Monday, Mark McHugh and I do Purple Monkey Dishwasher, our Simpsons podcast. Every Tuesday, I drop The Rambling Idiot, where I talk about my comedy career, TVs, movies, sports, and whatever I feel like. Every Friday, it's Game Patch, where we talk about the biggest news in modern video games. I give you some sales picks, new releases, etc. And Expansion Pass drops every Thursday, and that's a different gaming show each week. We do rankings. We look back at characters, consoles, genres, franchises. There's some comedy episodes. There's a ton of modern game reviews. This past week, it was Expansion Pass 182. And we talked about the sidekicks, the NPCs, and the background characters that deserve their own video games, as well as the ideas we had for the games themselves. And it was actually like a really fun, chill, good time. I really enjoyed that episode. And as is becoming tradition, here is a sneak peek of last week's episode of Expansion Pass. What characters deserve their own games? I'd be cool with that. Like, I'd be cool with the Zelda 2 type game, like the NES one. But I think if they want to make it like a financial success, then I think they need to go 3D. I'm not disagreeing. I think I'd almost prefer the 2D one. I think that sounds like a lot of fun. I think 3D is probably where they need to go. Because you know how gamers are today. If it doesn't 60 frames per second and the blades of grass don't look good, fuck this game forever. But yeah, I want something with Zelda. I agree. And I'd be fine with it starting with this Princess Zelda turning into Sheik. I think that'd be fine too. Something, though. Let this poor girl do something. That's now available on our archives. This week, it's Expansion Pass 183, and it is arguably... I don't know. It's not arguable because I'm not going to argue with anybody. It is one of my most anticipated modern game reviews ever. We're talking Starfield. It's finally time. I beat the main quest on Monday. I've put a little over 70 hours into this game, and I have a lot to say about it. So the review, like all my modern game reviews, will be spoiler-free. So if you're on the fence about playing it, maybe I can help you decide. And then I will tack a short spoiler cast on at the end after I warn you spoilers are coming like 8 times. So you can enjoy about a 45-minute review without any spoilers. And then there'll be a spoiler cast tacked on at the end. So again, that'll be available tomorrow for all our Patreon. Subscriptions start at $3 a month. You get new shows every week. Instant access to literally hundreds of ad-free archive bonus podcasts, plus access to our 1,000-plus member Remember the Game Discord, the chance to vote in our Patreon polls every month, the ability to submit comments to be read on our shows. You can DM with me, and you even get a shout-out and get to hear me mispronounce your name like I'm about to do to most of these people. A huge thank you to our newest Patreons, and the list that I didn't have up on my computer like I should have. Here it is. Cave Johnson's Lemons. I don't know what the fuck that means. Ronnie Johansson. Fishbulb, I get that one. Let's be honest, Mario Donkey Punches Yoshi, it's true. Goon Dizzle, Casually Filthy, that'd be my porn name. Paul Maskenbach, Fire Embalm, I got it. Jacob Wright, Death by Snes, I get that reference. Snoo. Lucas Autino, D-Man, Snap Crackle Prop, Brian Azaretto, David Law, and Flaming Mo. I'm sorry. That's right, it's the Flaming Mo. The Flaming Mo. Thank you all so much for the support, and welcome to Remember the Game Industries. You can find all that at patreon.com/rememberthegame. Don't forget, we are donating, we donate 5% of our Patreon income to my 24-hour stream coming up in a few weeks. And we hit the $5,000 threshold this year. So that you all made that possible. I'm fucking stoked. So thank you all so much for that support. And we offer annual subscriptions that will save you your 12th month's fees. And finally, you can find me on Twitch whenever I'm there. Twitch.tv/memberthegame. Hit me with a follow. It's free. It'll tell you when I'm online. We'll be friends. That's enough blowing myself. Let's blow some of you by blowing in some cartridges. It is our opening segment here on the show. I read a few comments and questions from our Patreons, usually gaming related, but not always. And we call this segment Blowing in the Cartridge.
He blows all right. He blows big time.
That's it, honey. Get into the spirit.
God, I love coffee. Okay, let's blow. Our first blower this week is Mateo, who said, I excitedly watched the original PS5 unveiling and felt like it was our version of the Homer car unveiling. I was hoping the Slim would be more of a redesign, but no. Class after class of ugly, ugly consoles. Shout out to anyone that gets that reference. That's a great pull. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, the PlayStation 5 is getting a redesign. It's a little bit slimmer, and I think as of like a few weeks, you won't be able to find the OG PS5 anymore. You'll have to buy the Slim. Somebody else had written in and said, hey, like, is it worth waiting? I don't really think it matters. Like, there's no real differences to the hardware. I will, you know what? Technically, I would say maybe wait, because I think the PS5 Slim comes with a little bit more storage capacity. And you might have to reinforce your fucking shelves to get the original PS5 in there and let it hold it up properly. But I will say, like, I'm not surprised that a Slim is coming. I don't think anybody should be. This has kind of become pretty par of the course for consoles these days. But I am a little disappointed in how not slim the PS5 is. It's like it just fucking got a haircut. It's still not very... I wouldn't call it a PS5 Slim. I would call it a PS5 not quite as big. Class after class of ugly. Listen, I like the PS5 a lot. I think it's a really good console, and I love the controller, but I think it is a fucking hideous looking system. I won't not... I have two. I have one in my office and one in my living room. I use it all the time. It's a great system, but fuck me. And that's coming from someone that's ugly. I know a thing or two about ugly. That's an ugly system. Jake Callahan wrote in and said, hey, Adam, how's the horror movie watching going? Not good. For anyone that doesn't know, on The Rambling Idiot, I finally have started watching some of the many movies I haven't watched over the years and dropping mini movie reviews on there every week. If you've seen on Instagram or Twitter, every time I post a new movie picture and I'm like, hey, watching another movie, that's where I do my mini movie reviews, is on The Rambling Idiot. And for October, I swore I was going to do 4 horror movies, and I'm not good with scary stuff. I don't like horror movies. They make me uncomfortable. Week 1, I watched The Shining, and it actually wasn't bad. It was a little scary, but it wasn't too bad. Last week, I watched Nightmare on Elm Street, and I actually didn't find it scary. Maybe it's because it's so old. I thought it was kind of cheesy and kind of dumb, but it was okay. Actually, so I shouldn't say it's not going well. After The Shining, I was ready to tap out. Nightmare on Elm Street, it's given me a new false sense of confidence, and I'm actually going to post the poll for Patreons later today. Let you decide what movie I'm going to watch this week, and I'll drop another one on another horror movie review on Monday on The Rambling Idiot, on Tuesday, whatever day that I have so many podcasts, whatever day it goes live. Kareem Abdesadik, I hope I said that right, said, so I'm sure you've already answered this, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Since both Mario Brothers Wonder and Spider-Man 2 are releasing on the same day, I'm curious, which one are you playing first? I'm definitely going for Spider-Man to avoid spoilers, but I'm curious if you feel the same. That's a great point, actually. Truth be told, I'm going to pick both of them up on Friday, and I'm just going to swap back and forth between both of them, just two-fisting them. And I'm just going to, I don't know, whenever I finish one, I'll focus all the way out on the other one. But that's why I wanted to get Starfield done in time to get the review up this week, because I knew Spider-Man and Mario would take up most of my modern gaming time for the foreseeable future. I'm genuinely super stoked for both. I guess if I had to pick one, I'm a little bit more excited for Spider-Man because I love Venom so much, but I'm really excited for both. I'm gonna go back and forth on both of them. And for everyone that's been asking, I am intending to play Sonic Superstars, but I think releasing that game this week, the same week as Spider-Man and Mario, was a horrible decision. It's just going to have to wait till I'm caught up a bit. But I would like to get to Sonic eventually. Boy, I can't wait for Mario and Spider-Man. Fuck, I can't wait. That is a good point, though, about avoiding spoilers. That's a good point. Tonio said, hello, Adam. Hello, Tonio. I followed you on Instagram after you quickly became my favorite commute. I was like, commute podcast. Thank you. I've been seeing you post some NFL and football stories, and it's nice to see you're a fan. I played football in college, and I think it's time us listeners got a solid football game. I know Madden is a lot, but I think NFL Blitz would be extremely fun because it's arcade favorite and had stints on 64 and PlayStation. How do you feel about this? You know, truth be told, for anyone that doesn't know, I only got into football the year Tim Tebow became the Broncos starting quarterback, and I'm a Broncos fan. I liked them before Tebow just because Homer, that episode where Homer gets the Broncos, and he's like, oh, the Denver Broncos. But I knew nothing of football until the year Tebow started. So I didn't play a lot of, like, I think I've played one game of NFL Blitz in my life. Like, I never played the old ones. NFL Street apparently is very good. I do wish they would bring them back. I agree with you. I'd also love to see the 2K series come back. I played a little bit of NFL 2K5, pardon me, with my old roommate. And even though I knew nothing about football, it was just so much fun. So I really wish we get something. And fucking EA, man. I agree with you. I guess that's the point I'm making, Tonio, is I agree with you. Oh, God. For EA to have some form of competition would be a godsend. At this point, I would settle for Mario football. And no, not Mario Strikers, but like Mario Pigskin football. That'd be fucking sick, actually. That'd be so much fun. Toad as a running back, just putting his head down and fucking going. I'd play. Waluigi would totally be a fucking kicker. That'd be sick. I'd play that. I agree. I want some alternative on the NFL. I agree. The RTG infamous member said, hey, I get it. Have you heard about RoboCop Rogue City? Playing as RoboCop in the first person with the Auto 9 pistol and his targeting system really seems to immerse the player into his shoes, boots, suit, whatever. I can't fucking wait for this game. Are there any games coming out in the future, no specific time frame, that are not really in the spotlight that you're really anticipating or have a closer good eye on? P.S. Love the cabin. I get that reference. I'm not excited about RoboCop, but that's because I've never seen RoboCop. I know it's one of the ones that's on the list. I would say, like, I don't know if Persona 5 Tactica is under the radar for anybody, because I know it's Persona, but it's not traditional Persona. I really want to play Persona 5 Tactica. I'm hoping to be done Spider-Man and Mario in time to play through that. It's like Persona with a tactical spin on it. I'm really interested in that one. Hollow Knight Silksong is easily top 2 or 3 for me. Again, I don't know if that's going under the radar or not. One that I think is under the radar that I'm really excited about is SteamWorld Build. I love the SteamWorld games, and SteamWorld Build is an upcoming one where you go to underground and you dig for resources, then you bring them above ground and build a city. And I like all those things. So I'm really excited for SteamWorld Build. So I guess if you're talking like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is my most anticipated game, period. But if you're talking about like ones that aren't getting a ton of coverage, I would say Silksong and SteamWorld Build, followed by Persona 5 Tactica, would be my top 3. So, and if those don't count, then I don't know. Then I guess nothing. But I hope those count. Dakota said, hello. I just recently had a wedding reception. We were the lucky bride and groom to receive some dollary dues, and I'm buying an Xbox. I've been a PlayStation guy my whole adult life, so should I start with Starfield, or should I take a nosedive into nostalgia and hit the Halos and the Gears first? Congratulations, Dakota, on getting married. That is exciting. Congratulations to you and the lucky partner that I assume you have told, hey, we're going to spend part of this money on a Xbox. And if you haven't yet, that's a tough sell. I'd get that out of the way. As far as should you start with Starfield or should you start with Gears and Halo? Truth be told, I think I would start with Gears and Halo first. I would start with Halo 1 can be a little bit rough around the edges for a new Xbox-y, but 2, 3, Reach, and ODST are all fire, like the campaigns. The Gears campaigns are dope, and it would give Starfield a little bit more time to get patched and get running, because it is still, I just finished it, and I had a few crashes and a few bugs. It's a Bethesda game, you know, part of the course, but unless you're like foaming at the mouth, you're a diehard Bethesda fan, I would start with the Gears and the Halos, and then go to Starfield, and maybe it'll be a little bit more stable by the time you're caught up. So, good luck. Congratulations. Enjoy your Xbox. Muntkyle said, hey, Adam, I've been logging a few hours here and there on some old Mario 2D platformers prepping for Mario Wonder because I'm 40 and I need to stretch before I do anything. I want to know about your process. Where your time is limited and you have a lot of back catalog items you're trying to get through, do you try to prep for games through playing something similar to get that muscle memory working? I would expect that there'd be a greater opportunity of rage quitting some of the old games if the mapping is odd or the controller is unique. Looking at you, Nintendo 64, you're doing great stuff. Thanks for the content, Muncal. Thank you, Muncal. I appreciate that. You know what? No, I don't really. There was a time where like it wouldn't be so much to shake off the muscle rust as it would just be, I'm excited to play Mario. I'm going to play some Mario right now. And honestly, if I didn't have the podcast and all the stuff to play for the podcast right now, I probably would have fired up like a Mario game just because I could always play Mario to get ready for Mario Wonder. Or I would have done a replay of the original Spider-Man to get ready for this one. But I know it's kind of a bitch answer, but honestly, at this point, the podcast, I've always got 4 or 5 games on the go for the show. So I really just play what I'm obligated to play and then sneak in a couple of new games on the side. So no, but if I had the freedom to, probably. Less about the muscle memory and more about just, I'm excited. And it's like, you know, it's like when you're going to a nice steakhouse and you hit the McDonald's drive-thru on the way there for a quarter pounder just to get the taste of meat on your tongue. Does anyone else do that? No? Okay. Anyway, finally, it's letter time. It's letter time. Joe the Sandman said, stands in the middle of a meeting holding his whiskey glass in one hand and addressing the congregation. If I may, Mr. Blank, CEO Molly, fellow hot dogs, today I dare to speak in this momentous event to discuss an important topic regarding Nintendo and their imminent next-generation console and the future of retro gaming as we've enjoyed during this past generation. My doubt, and perhaps the doubt of many, many hot dogs in this company, keeps me up at night and has taken a toll on my sanity. Will Nintendo keep the Nintendo Switch Online service as we know it in their next incursion? I wish they do. They just started releasing Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games into the service, not to mention we haven't received all the N64 games we were promised, but most of all, the access to those retro games in the NES and SNES platforms, or will they fuck us up by taking it all away and finding another way to sell us the same old games again? Thank you. I think that's a very relevant... Listen, if it was anybody but Nintendo, I would think, no, you know what? There is no way. After they spent 6 years rolling out their whole back catalog to us, there is no fucking way that they take all these games away and make us start from scratch again. But Nintendo has done it 3 times. They did it with the Wii, then they did it with the Wii U, then they did it with the Switch, not to mention the 3DS, and at this point, I have zero faith that they won't fuck this up and just leave them all there day one. That said, it would be absolutely ridiculously stupid of them to not have all those games available on the online services the day. Like, all it should be is when you buy whatever the next Switch is, your Switch membership carries over to that one. If you still have 6 months left in Nintendo Online on this one, it carries over to the next one. Because they have such a massive install base on the Switch, you'd be turning away so many players. So it'd be so, like, I know they've done some dumb things, but I cannot wrap my head around the idea. I mean, I can because it's Nintendo, but I refuse to believe that they won't just make everything. I genuinely believe the next Switch will be backwards compatible, and everything that's on the Nintendo Switch Online will be available on the next system, and maybe they'll keep adding to it. I truly think that, because I agree with you, Joe. It would be a catastrophic fuck up if they did anything else. So fingers, eyes, toes, balls crossed that everything carries over. And I genuinely think it will this time. I don't think we'll have to start from scratch again. Fuck, I hope not. Because I don't give a fuck what people say. The Nintendo Switch Online offerings are pretty good now. We need more 64 games. We need more GBA games, and they're coming. But you get a pretty beefy amount of games on there now for $20 or $50 a year or whatever your subscription is. You can't start over. So I hope they don't. I pray they don't. I don't think they will. But it's Nintendo, so we'll see. Knowing Nintendo, the next system will be like a fucking pair of underwear that you fucking wear in places and it woohoos when you jump or something, knowing Nintendo. But anyway, thank you everybody for your submissions. We got to keep the ball rolling here. Let's switch things up and get to our Smash It segment, the official game show of Remember the Game. It is Play 1, Remake 1, Erase 1. And a huge thank you to Classic Concentration from the NES for unknowingly providing us with the theme music for the show. The rules are simple. Every week I give our Patreons 3 retro video games. They can play one as it was released, remake one as a modern game. The third is erased from time forever. And as always, there are no wrong answers, but there is a right one. I'll tell you what it is in a minute. This week we're talking about the winner of our PS2 Patreon poll with Devil May Cry. So I went with the 3 runner-ups that made it so crazy for 4 days or so. Katamari Damacy, Need for Speed Underground, and Tony Hawk's Underground. 30% said play Katamari, remake Tony Hawk, erase Need for Speed. But this was close all over. All 6 options got a lot of love. It was wild. So let's see what a few of you had to say here, and then I'll tell you what the right answer was. Lethal Laughs Gaming said this is a tough one. I'll play Need for Speed Underground because it's still a blast to play, and there are so many other great racing games out there today to scratch that racing and modifying itch. That's true. Remake Tony Hawk's Underground because with modern tech they can make this game even greater than it was when it first released. Lastly, I would sadly erase Katamari because as much as I like rolling up cats, paper clips, and sumo wrestlers, this game didn't quite have the same impact as the others. And that is fair. Katamari is definitely I was shocked that it was getting the love that it did. Frankly, I went from like not even really knowing what it was to being like, I gotta play this fucking game. Just seeing how much love it got on the poll. But you're right, it's not Need for Speed and it's not Tony Hawk as far as impact and legacy goes. So that's fair. Troy Evers. Excuse me, I got a bubble in my throat. Troy Evers. Dude, so side note, did any of you used to watch Full House? I don't know how it's going to come across in audio, but it's like I used to do impressions when I was a kid. I can still do a few with The Simpsons and stuff. But Is it made out of wood? Remember that guy? I used to have that woodchuck that he had. I used to do that for us. Anyway, Troy Evers said, play Tony Hawk's Underground. The aesthetic and vibe can't be properly replicated today. Remake Katamari. The recent remaster looks fun. It could be enhanced whenever it needed. Erase Need for Speed Underground. Forza is very good, and GTA 5 has a lot of these elements too. And I think it's fair to erase the racing game. That sounds funny. Because there are so many. You do have the Forzas, and you do have the Gran Turismos. I understand. I get it. Char Aznabear said, I'll have to remake Katamari because it's fine. I don't see what you do to improve it, really. Pardon me, I'd have to play Katamari because it's fine. Excuse me. I'll remake Tony Hawk's Underground because it has so much more potential. Erase Need for Speed Underground simply so I don't have to listen to a very shittily edited version of Get Low by Lil Jon and the East Side Boys. If that is a sound reason for an erase, my friend. And Dylan Trader said, I'd play Need for Speed Underground. Not the biggest racing fan, but I know them classic Need for Speeds are good enough. I'd remake Tony Hawk because it irritates me how Eric Sparrow doesn't get on most evil villain or biggest piece of shit in gaming lists. And if they remake it, maybe Eric will finally get the hate he deserves. And erase Katamari, as I've gone this many years without playing it. I've still never gotten around to it despite having many, many chances. Fair enough. I'm going with 14%. Of you this week. And like I said, all the options got some love. I'm going 14%, as did Brian Ransom, who said, play Katamari because I've never heard of it, so why not give it a shot? It's the right attitude. Remake Need for Speed Underground because in my opinion, it's one of the best Need for Speeds and one of my favorites going up. Erase Tony Hawk's Underground. I haven't played it, but we have Pro Skater 1 and 2, which are both amazing. My reasoning is actually fairly close. I will also play Katamari because I've never played it, and it looks cool and very unique, and I'm intrigued as fuck now. I assure you, before this show is over, unless I die or something, knock on wood, I will play and review Katamari, I promise. I'm going to remake Need for Speed Underground. I'm not a racing guy, but Need for Speed Most Wanted blew my socks off. So why not? I'm excited to play it at some point. And I'm going to race Tony Hawk's Underground. And I know a lot of you are like, bah, 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 bah. I don't want to race any of these, but I got to pick one. I did play a little bit of Underground back in the day. I thought it was fine, but they all kind of bleed together. And as long as I have the remakes in Tony Hawk 2 through 4, I'm fine. More is great, but I still have those. So I'm sorry. I like Tony Hawk. I'm sorry. I got business decisions here, all right? Thank you, everybody that wrote in to play, as always. Let's pause here. I need some coffee. We'll get a quick word in from a sponsor if I manage to get one, and then I'll tell you what I've been playing, and we'll get into Devil May Cry. We'll be right back. We've had some great partners over the years here at Remember the Game, but I don't know if any of them have hit home for me quite like Hometown Hero does. No pun intended. Don't start. It's a transparent, honest cannabis company that helps people and gives back to those that have served their country at the same time. I mean, come on. As soon as I read about these guys, I knew I wanted to work with them. Hometown Hero is a cannabis company out of Austin, Texas, and they were founded back in 2015 by a U.S. veteran. They have two goals: create premium hemp products that can help everyone, and to support veterans by donating a portion of those profits to organizations set up to take care of those who have served. Hometown Hero products are of the highest quality, and everything they offer is made right there in the U.S. of A. Gummies, caramels, chocolates, drink mix. There's something for everyone. And what's more, their hemp is grown locally in Texas, which is something they should and do take a lot of pride in. And they offer certificates of analysis for everything they sell because they want to be clear that their products are as advertised, both in terms of potency and ingredients. No contaminants, you get what you pay for. Just how they conduct business is enough to get my good eyes' attention. But when you circle back to the fact that the company was founded by a veteran and they put such heavy emphasis on supporting veterans, this isn't just lip service. I'm not reading a script I was given here. I'm proud to have Hometown Hero associated with Remember the Game. Reclaim your evening. Visit hometownhero.com and use code RTG to take 20% off your first purchase. That's hometownhero.com, code RTG for 20% off your first purchase. This is an ad by BetterHelp. A band once said, "Work sucks, I know." And I think most people agree with them. Workplace stress is now one of the top causes of declining mental health, with 61% of the global workforce experiencing higher than normal levels of stress from their jobs. And while walking away from your job might not be an option, taking a little time every day to focus on yourself and your mental health can make a huge difference. I know in the summer I try to get outside every day, get a little bit of sun, and just enjoy the outdoors. It really helps. At least until my allergies attack, and then it's ugly. It's important to take steps to combat work stress, and therapy can be a huge one. It's not just for overcoming trauma. Therapy can help you define work goals, set some work boundaries, develop coping skills. It's like a cheat code for life. And if you're thinking, man, I'm too busy for therapy, well, look into BetterHelp. They make therapy as convenient as possible. You can meet with one of their over 30,000 therapists online and on your schedule, just like over 5 million people around the world already have done. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Unwind from work with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/rememberthegame. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/rememberthegame. Okay, what have I been playing over the last week? It's pretty quick. I've been playing a lot of Devil May Cry, as you're about to hear what I think of it. I've been playing Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem on the GameCube, a very niche cult classic game that won our GameCube Patreon poll. So when this one's done, I'm caught up. I'm hoping to review it next week. It might not get reviewed until November 1st, but I'm playing it right now. It is weird as fuck. I honestly can't decide if I like it yet or not. I don't hate it. I don't think I love it yet. I'll give it more time. And then I've been playing Starfield. Like a fiend, finished it Monday night. Honestly, I'd like to keep playing it, but I'm just out of time. So that's really all I've been playing. Let's talk Devil May Cry. That's why you kids are here. As always, I like to let the hot dog sound off before my guest tonight hog the microphone. So let's see what a few of you had to say. Shawsome1 said, what I've always found fascinating about this game is that this was originally supposed to be Resident Evil 4 when they first started developing it, but things didn't work out the way they thought it would, and we ended up with this. I'm a fan of the franchise nonetheless. Well, except for the reboot they did, which was straight hot ass, and I don't care what anyone says. It sucked. All in all, Devil May Cry was fun and stressful times playing growing up, and it's great to see how far the series has come throughout the years. Yeah, I knew a lot of people wrote in about how this was originally going to be Resident Evil 4, and I am a huge Resident Evil 4 fan, so that honestly buys it some points in my book, just because it's so cool to see where this game I love so much originally kind of came from. And you definitely see the Resident Evil in it, for sure. Casually Filthy said, I'd like to see a Devil May Cry and Bayonetta collaboration game. I think games like this are fun and when you're not trying to think too much. A good game to just turn off your brain and kill shit. Yeah, I've never played a Bayonetta, and I'm intrigued. I'm also hesitant, like I was with DMC, because I don't love hack and slash, but you are right, especially if you want to smoke a little bit of the old jazz cabbage and space out. They can be good games to just kill shit and turn your brain off. I agree with that. Austin Wright said, all I remember about this game is the creepy things would pop out of the ceiling and attack you and legitimately scare the shit out of me as a kid. I get that. There was a couple of times where they kind of scare the shit out of me playing it now, and that camera's scarier than any of them. Fuck that camera. Fuck that fucking camera. Joe Buck said, you basically cried during the playthrough, and you're essentially the devil, so the name makes sense. But seriously, goodbye, DMC. Nice knowing you not. I did come close to tears, raging at that fucking camera playing this, so that is fair. And Terror of Rebirth said, I remember back when a buddy of mine got this game and we played it all night. He crashed out kind of early, but I stayed out enjoying the shit out of it. I didn't find the controls were bad. The camera wasn't the best. The bosses weren't too hard, but also not too easy either. I don't know which boss pissed me off more, the damn Griffin or Nightmare. It's fucking Nightmare. Fuck Nightmare. That's why I quit the game, was fucking Nightmare. Sorry. The amount of weapons you get wasn't too bad either. I really wish I'd gotten to use the Sparta sword more. Did you know if you hit R3, it let you change between the Alistair and Ifrit and not have to go into the menu? Other than Devil May Cry 2, I recommend these games to anyone. Let's rock, baby. I did not fucking know that, and I ranted about how it was so hard to switch weapons. God damn it. To quote the legendary Chief Wiggum, I'll be damned. I wish I had known that you could push R3 to change your fucking weapons. Fucking game makes me so fucking angry. Fuck. All right, it's time to get into it. If you love Devil May Cry, don't worry. I'm not going fucking Echo the Dolphin on it, but I do have some criticisms, and I think I was very tough but very fair, which is more than I can say about Devil May Cry, which is very tough and borderline unfair. But let's get into it. I'm going to cue up some music. And when it stops, my pal Miklos and I are going to take a look back at Devil May Cry, which originally released on the PS2. Get this, October 17th, 2001. It turned 22 yesterday. Happy birthday, Dante. I fucking hate you. Enjoy the podcast. Let's go. All right, I don't even know where to start with this one. Joining me via the blank phone this week to talk Devil May Cry is a man that I'm sure cries on occasion. It's my pal Miklos. Mick, I haven't talked to you in a while. He's not on the show. How are you? And do you cry on the regular?
Um, I'm doing quite well, and yeah, I cry on the regular. I have maybe not a super scheduled cry, but I do like a breathwork class where that happens a lot.
Yeah. Oh, you do a what kind of class?
It's a breathwork class.
Breathwork?
Yeah,
What the
it's
hell is
like
that?
weird. It's like a weird meditation where they play this audio that circles your head, in like nine
Are,
different tracks.
are you making this up or are you serious?
No, no, I'm absolutely serious.
That sounds very peaceful.
It is. It's dope.
And that's where you cry sometimes?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Have you ever cried playing Devil May Cry?
Uh, Probably not, but I definitely got pretty angry playing this game a lot.
I came pretty close. I came pretty fucking close. Listen, I don't even know where to start because I want the listeners here to know. I know some of you adore this game, and I know some of you hate it. Anyone that thinks this game is like universally praised, I have been quite vocal on social media over the last couple of weeks about how this game has been pissing me off, and there were a lot of people that have come out of the woodwork and be like, I fucking hate Devil May Cry. I fucking hate these games. But there's a lot of people that love these games too. And I was just saying it to you off air, man. I don't think I hate this game enough to be like, it sucks and I hate it, but I don't think I love it enough to be like, I like that game. It's great. Like I'm very fence sitting in the middle on this fucking game. I don't know. Do you like this? Do you like this game?
I kind of do, yeah. It was like Dark Souls before Dark Souls, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's
And
go ahead.
I think that like sometimes you just need to like aggressively beat things and kill things.
Yeah.
That's it. It's good therapy once in a while.
It is, but I think that's part of the reason I'm struggling to because like I fucking there's not a strong enough word to say how much disdain I have for Dark Souls games. Like I hate them so much. And before anybody writes in or so whatever, it's like get good. That's exactly I love difficult games, but I like difficult games when they're like my type, like platformers. I'm not good at action games. I'm not very good at hack and slash games. And fighting these giant bosses over and over and dying over and over where you try to learn the patterns, I hate that shit. I fucking despise that shit. So maybe that's part of the reason this game didn't click with me. But and I appreciate you saying that because I wanted to come on the show and be like, was this like early Dark Souls? But then I'm like, is everyone just gonna make fun of me for saying that because this isn't that hard? But you feel that way too, so it makes me feel better.
Yeah, 100%. The whole series is kind of like that.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Like,
So, like, you have to know like where all the enemies come out, and like you can't fuck up like a little on some of those bosses.
no, dude,
It's
those
just
bosses,
punishing.
they take like that first. Okay, like we're obviously gonna get more into the game and everything, but the first boss fight in the game that everybody probably remembers is the giant spider scorpion thing, whatever the fuck it is. I don't remember what its name is, but that thing fucking killed me probably 30 times before and admittedly, like as you're playing, you're getting good and you're learning the patterns and you're studying it and you're figuring out what to do. But like I'm getting massacred by this fucking thing, and admittedly, part of it is the camera. I don't want to hear any. We're gonna get to that fucking camera. Part of it was the camera.
We are going to get to that.
Oh, I've been building up for 2 weeks. I'm gonna unload on that fucking camera. But a lot of people that wrote in that said they don't like this game were like, I quit at that first spider fight, and there is so many boss fights in this fucking game, man.
Well, the thing that they didn't do great in this game was really kind of like it's a very much figure the shit out on your own,
Yeah.
which is great for back then, but also they didn't really kind of show you like what combos do or how they work or,
No,
or anything.
no, and it's funny,
Right?
and it's funny you say that because like so many games today, you play games today, like so many games
Yeah.
today, it's like the first 2 hours are tutorials.
Oh
And-
yeah.
Right? And that pisses a lot of us off. We're like, fuck, I want to play. But then you go back and play a game like this where there aren't any tutorials, and it's like, fuck, where the fuck are the tutorials? And it's like,
Well,
what do we want? I don't know.
There are other games that did like a really good job of like making a level and setting up different monsters so you would like do different things. This didn't do any of that.
No, right out of the gate, dude. Right out of the gate, you're in that first area where you need to find all the red orbs to like open the door, and I couldn't find the one orb forever. I'm fucking running around, and right away so like, let's put our cards on the table, all right? Because I know everyone's gonna write in if we don't mention this. Everybody brings up that this started out as what it was going to be, Resident Evil 4. And then they decided to make Resident Evil 4 into what it became, and it went on to become one of the greatest video games of all time. Have you played Resident Evil 4?
I've watched it and played a bunch.
Okay, it is.
I would never got into them. I didn't like the way the shooting worked at all.
That's fair. Resident Evil 4 is like kind of remapped. It's still, by today's standards, those controls are a little funky. Resident Evil 4 Remake is superb, but I love Resident Evil 4. And I can see I like Resident Evil, and I can see Resident Evil in this game for sure. I'm so glad they didn't go this way with Resident Evil 4. But right out of the gate, you're trying to find those fucking red orbs, and then you finally collect them, and then shortly afterwards, you need to fight that fucking spider thing, the scorpion spider, whatever the fuck it's called, and it is going to kill you, especially if you're still learning. Like, once you've played the game a bunch, and you kind of know how to dodge and stuff like that, it's probably a little bit easier. But out of the gate, that thing fucking... I was shocked that it was so... And then, like, I was shocked that it was so tough out of the gate, and then they offer you like an easy mode, which I refused to use. I would not fucking go to it. I was like,
I definitely used it a few times.
Did you?
Of course.
I fought it. I ended up. I didn't beat it. In case anyone's wondering, I put probably 15 hours into this game, and I got to, I think, the 20th mission out of 23. It's like the third time you fight the giant blob with the 2 orbs in it. And I could not beat it. And I'll call me whatever you want, make fun of me, call me a bitch. The fucking camera fucked. I could not fucking see. But,
it's so bad sometimes. Like...
Oh, buddy, it's fucking. It's. I want to just quickly take a moment. I'm almost positive last week's episode was Mega Man Legends, I think. And I was pretty hard on the camera in Mega Man Legends. I would just like to take this moment here on the show to officially apologize to Mega Man Legends and to all the Mega Man Legends fans and say, I like your camera. I would use your camera again. Because the camera, let's just do it. Let's just fucking... I want to get the bad out of the way because I want to make sure.
Let's go.
Let's go. Because there's some good. There's some good, and I want to get to the good. But we're going to get the bad out of the way. The camera in this game is fixed the whole time. You can't steer it. You can't turn it. And look, bro, I'm not going to age you, but like, I'm in my late 30s. You and I are almost the same age. We're in the same.
Yeah, we're pretty much the
same generation. We both grew up in the PS2 era. I understand you couldn't control the camera in every game, but this one, they're fixed in spots everywhere. It's like you're playing off security cameras. And the number of times, I'm leaning back from the camera mic so I can get loud. The number of times you're fighting a boss and the boss is not on the fucking screen and you can't turn the camera. I'm fighting that giant bird and it's above me and I can't even see. I'm just shooting and hoping it's hitting it. That fucking scorpion spider thing. The stupid nightmare blob. That fucking stupid Dark Knight. And its stupid fucking daggers that it throws at you. Mick, have you ever played a game with a camera as ridiculous as the camera in this game? Ever?
No, I don't think I have.
It's like
there are some notable games that are bad, and this was an era of that time.
I know it was.
Didn't fucking know much about anything.
But it's just, listen. I understand the fixed camera concept. All right, I can live with that. It's just
sometimes, sometimes like the place to cut to it seems like so arbitrary.
Yeah.
Like, why is it going here?
And like you're running, dude, like that first fight against the scorpion spider thing, it does that one attack where it like fire like comes up from in the ground and the only way to dodge it is to just run away. But you're running and then all of a sudden like mid-run the camera swaps. So now you're running in a different direction, and then you get stuck on a pole that you can't see. You still can't see the spider scorpion thing, and then the fire gets you and takes away like a third of your health. It's just I've never seen a camera like this.
it's so bad because you're like, oh man, I have tons of screen left. No, you don't. No,
No,
you don't. You don't. You don't. You
you
are.
don't. Even it's not even always the bosses. Like you're because
There are some parts, yeah, like hallways and shit are the worst.
yeah,
So many hallways, they just switch the camera angle.
dude, there's parts where you're literally running toward the camera. And it's like the enemies are behind the camera you're running toward because their attacks are coming at you, but you can't see them. I've never listen. We all have games and we all have times where we're like, oh, the controller doesn't work right, or oh, the camera got stuck. I have never blamed a camera as much as I did in this game. It is absolutely unbelievable. I'm shocked that this series has gone on to get the praise that it has when this was entry 1. And I want to make sure I make this clear. I have some nice things to say. We're going to get there. But I was like, I don't want to hear that this is a product of the times. Because when did this game come out? 2001? If I had played this back in 2001, I would have turned it off at that scorpion spider fight. I would have been like, this camera's fucking stupid. It's ridiculous. It breaks the game at times.
I think just from my recollection of that time, there were so many games like this that yes, this was bad, but he really did. A lot of the games were like this.
I know they were, but like I went back and played the original God of War a couple years ago, which is another PS2 hack and slash game, and I didn't find the camera in that fucked me very often.
That one you can move around though too, can't you?
Yeah, you.
Yeah.
Well, I can't.
Yeah,
I can't remember. Maybe you can. But that's all I'm saying is it feels like
it was bad. With the map design and where they put everything.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Like to me,
I remember so many times just dying because I didn't realize like there was a creature.
Yeah. Dude,
somewhere.
Yeah. Or a boss will get like a really powerful attack off on you because you can't fucking see them.
Can't see shit.
It's just and like I genuinely don't know if it was like an intentional decision to try to increase the difficulty in a stupid way, or if it was like they didn't think it was that bad. And maybe it didn't seem that bad in 01, but I'm telling you, like, before you write at me and tell me I just suck at like the number of people that have come out of the woodwork and been like, no, dude, I tried playing this back in the day. Fucking, I hate that camera. Fuck this place. Fuck this game. Like, it's not just me.
No, I get it.
And it's frustrating because, like, there are moments where when the camera's not fucking you over, it can be a pretty fun game.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But it's just
like, especially when you're getting like a lot of combos off.
Yeah.
Right? When you're actually when you're fighting like 6 or 7 guys and you're just doing just this huge combo through all of them and you actually get actual decent experience, because I think they did that fucking the better your combos were, the more experience you got.
Yeah, you get more of those red orbs and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Right? So I hope it like maybe there's a trick online or something where you can use those cameras to your advantage to get good scores.
Maybe like the only thing I could think is like if you play it over and over again, you probably know. Like I looked up a couple of strategy guides because I was really getting fucked up. But then it's weird because like I get fucked up by a boss for a couple of days and then I go on a run where I destroy a few bosses. And then and I looked up a strategy guide because I was like, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing wrong? And even a lot of the strategy guides were like, no, the cameras can be pretty fucky. And their number one piece of advice was like, find 1 or 2 areas where you can see where the camera's not fucking you, and just do everything you can to stay in those couple of areas. And which makes sense, but
yeah,
you're right. I found like the combat at times I found it incredibly tedious and boring. But then other times I was like really getting into a flow where you just switching between whatever weapon you have equipped to your gun. I love the infinite ammo thing. That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good shit. And you're going back and forth and you're fucking enemies up and you're getting into the flow and you're like, I'm a motherfucking beast. Like, this is great. But then all of a sudden you run into one fight where the camera wrecks you and you die. And then it brings me to my other major gripe with the game, which I understand is a product of the times, but that is that you go all the way. If you don't have any more yellow orbs, it's right back to the beginning of the fucking chapter, and you do it all again. And that was what really aggravated me. Oh my God, because there's a couple of fights where the big boss is after a small boss. It's all in one chapter, and then you die on the big boss, and then I have to go back and do the boring small boss and all that shit again just to get back to the big boss to take another shot at him and try to learn the fucking patterns of his moves. And then I figure out the patterns of his moves, but then when I go to dodge, the camera fucking turns, and I get stuck somewhere, and... God, fuck. Oh. But you're right. When it's working, it's actually a lot of fun.
It is. When it's oh man, getting those combos is just, if you could stay in the air for a long time too, I always tried to do that.
Yeah. Well, and that's part of the reason I stuck with this game as long as because I'll be honest, like I was in the early going, I was like, I'm not even gonna play this. We'll fucking go to the runner-up of the Patreon poll. Fuck this game. And then I stuck with it, and then it's so weird, man, because my memories of this game now are like, in one session, I just rage quit it and got super mad, and Molly got scared of me, and it was awful. But then in the next session, I played for like 2 hours and just had a blast. Like, it was a Jekyll and Hyde game, almost. It's fucking weird. You said you've played more than just the original, yeah?
Yeah, I played 2 and 3, not all the way through either.
Okay.
Like, my ADHD probably wouldn't let me. It's like, you've done a lot of this.
A lot of people have told me that 2 sucks, but 3 is the best in the franchise.
Yeah, I would go with that. Everything they kind of improve a lot on in that one.
I remember I played 3 years ago. It was a free PS Plus game on my PS3, and I played it. And I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. But I don't remember being upset by the camera. So, like, I assume they must have fixed that shit.
It's pretty good.
What
I remember, it was a lot more fluid.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, like, I'm not going to sit here and say I would have loved this game without the camera issues, because it still does some stuff I don't really like, which we'll get into. But I definitely would have liked it more than I did, because it does some great things. What do you think of Dante? Like, the main character. I think he's kind of lame. He tries too hard to be cool.
Yeah, definitely 100%. That storyline's all kinds of fucked up.
I ask you, dude, and if you don't have an answer, it's okay. Now maybe part of the reason I don't know what the fuck is going on is because I got stuck at times so long that I can't remember the previous cutscenes. But all I know is that some girl, Trish, showed up at Dante's house and brought him to a castle and abandoned him, and now I'm fighting everything.
Tried to kill him first.
Yeah, and then he went with her to a castle and she abandoned him.
Yeah, I was like, man, this is a toxic relationship.
Yeah, like a lot of people shit on Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII, and they're like, oh, he tries too hard to be cool and everything, which I'll hear. I like Sephiroth. He's not my favorite. He's okay. But I'm like, if you think Sephiroth tries too hard to be cool, then you'd better be shitting hard on Dante, because this guy seems like a wannabe Sephiroth.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like, he's got the big sword, he's got the gray hair, thinks he's so cool, and he's not.
They may have tried to profit off some Final Fantasy VII.
I don't know, maybe.
That was like a popular look in a lot of games for a while.
It sure was. It sure was.
Something similar.
Like, and before anybody writes in and like yells at me, I don't know anything about like mythology and demons and blah. Maybe he is like one of them. I don't fucking know. I don't care. I just, like, I didn't hate him, but I just didn't find him all that interesting. Like,
to be fair too, there's not like a lot of dialogue.
No, there's not.
In that, there's nothing really to build. You're just a guy killing demons because your dad or grandfather did it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah. That's a fair argument. Like, there are cutscenes, but I don't really care about them.
No, none of them are really good.
No. Although I will say, I really as much as I hate that giant scorpion spider guy, I like that
Yeah.
he talks and he just has like a regular voice.
Yeah,
And
that was cool.
I actually
Unexpected.
right? I'm like expecting him to come down and be like, "I'll kill you," but he comes down and he's like, "Hey Dante, get out of our castle. We're busy. Get the fuck out of here." And then
I'm gonna kill you.
yeah, I'm gonna kill you. And Dante's like, "Oh man, nobody could kill me. I'm Dante. Camera switch. Fuck you. Fuck, I hate him. I fucking hate him." Now, again, I feel like we're really hopping from like the bad to the good, the bad to the good. I will say, I think the soundtrack to this game is quite superb.
Yeah, for the time too, the graphics,
Yes.
like when you start getting like kind of really into the hellish areas,
Yeah.
it's like, oh man, I'm like mesmerized at parts, and like you kind of get creeped out even with the quality of the graphics for like some of those like face walls and shit.
Yeah, agreed. I'll give credit where it's due. I'm not a graphics guy. Like I rarely do I. If graphics are good, awesome. But I've never bought a game because the graphics were good.
Yeah.
But I was. You're right. I played the original PS2 version on an original PS2 on a 4K monitor, and those can get pretty ugly sometimes. This one looked really good, like surprisingly good, like. Not just in the sense of I never really had issues with what I could interact with and what I couldn't, but I just thought the backgrounds, like I thought the castle, all the castle walls and everything looked really sharp.
Yeah.
So
No,
I'll concede that. Yeah, it looked good.
it was a beautifully looking game,
And
despite how annoying it was.
and this is a good and bad because I actually thought the enemies were really cool looking too. My issue is that there wasn't really, in my opinion, there wasn't enough of them.
Yeah.
Like
There seemed to be like a couple kinds.
yeah,
And they may have just reskinned it a little.
like you fight the same ghosts over and over in the hall and those kinds of, and like the ice dogs and shit. But even the bosses, like you fight there's the giant scorpion spider thing. There's the Dark Knight. There's the giant griffin bird, and the nightmare, the blob with the orbs in it.
Yeah.
I
I fucking hate that guy.
I hate that fucking blob. And you fight them all like over and over again. Like it's not, and I will say that like I was a little disappointed in that it was recycling the same bosses over and over instead of coming up with new designs. Because the designs you have are neat. Like I like I hate that blob because I can't beat him, but he's a cool looking boss. Like they're cool looking enemies, but I does that make sense? Like I was a little disappointed that there wasn't more of them.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's kind of like to my point before about how they don't really like teach you really how to use your character or give you enemies to try and teach you how to use it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're like, because most of those fights are pretty much like attack, 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 jump, gun, attack, 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 jump, gun, attack, attack, attack.
Yeah.
And if they don't really like, you don't really even figure the basics of that out.
No.
Before you get like to a boss fight, really.
No, it feels like you fight like a dozen generic scrub enemies, and then it's like here's the scorpion spider guy, and yeah, you're right. I don't. It's. I found that very, very, and then like not only like. So I did find that frustrating, but then what I know we're all over the map here, but I'm really torn on this game.
That's fine, man. I like being all over the map.
Yeah.
This game is very all over the map.
This game pulls you in many directions.
What you're saying before about it being like, I fucking hate this game, and then you're like, I don't know what, this game has been amazing to me for a little while.
Yeah,
that's like the whole thing.
What I was gonna say with the bosses is like one thing I like about, still modern games do it, but I love it in old games, is when bosses have like a tell before they do their attack, and then after you die a couple of times, you know that like, oh, when he raises his right arm, he's gonna shoot the fire. When he raises his left shield, he's gonna do the charge at me, and you know how to dodge them. You know what I'm saying? And lots of bosses are like that in games. But
yeah,
and I genuinely do appreciate that because I like the, practice makes perfect. Learn the patterns. You can dodge them. You can beat them. And I found it almost disappointing that like when the spider shows up to fight him again, he has all the same attacks plus one new one. When the knight shows up, he has all the same attacks plus one new one. And I'm like, now, and this is what gets back to like, man, I'm having a good time to where fucking now it's just going to be the tedious fucking fight of the boss again. And then the camera fucking shows up again and then I die and then it's back to the beginning of the level and then it's fight through the whole thing again. And I'm like, dude, dude, I'm telling you, like in multiple times in one session, I can go from this is awesome to fuck this game to this is awesome to fuck this game. Me.
I 100% agree.
It's so infuriating.
100%.
Okay, you know what? Fuck, we've been rambling for 25 minutes. Okay, we're going to take a quick break here. I need a drink of water. I want to get into some more of the details in this game. I want to talk about the upgrade system and stuff. We'll do all that in just a minute. We're going to pause for a quick word from a sponsor if I was able to convince somebody to sponsor this. We'll be right back. All right, dude, one thing you mentioned before the break was how this game really just throws you into the deep end. And it doesn't.
Yes.
And it does. What do you the upgrade system where you collect those red orbs and then whenever you come across the like statue with the sun or the sand dial thingy, what is that thing called? I don't know what that thing is. A sand dial? Is that what that's called?
I have no idea.
You know those timers that come in like Pictionary and shit? I don't know. Anyway, you find those guys. Yeah.
Like an hourglass.
Yeah, an hourglass. Yeah. Thank you. Sand dial. The hourglass. I'm gonna hear about that. The sand. I'm gonna call it the sand dial now. But you can whenever you find them or between missions, you can upgrade either your weapons or you can upgrade you can buy like the yellow orbs to refresh or the purple orbs to give you more time in your invincible mode and stuff like that. I liked that concept and I like that it rewarded you for getting those red orbs, but the same thing, and maybe it's expecting a trial and error process, I didn't feel like it did a great, like I bought upgrades for my weapons being like that sounds dope, and then I found out like, oh, you have to go into that invincible mode to fucking use all these upgrades, and you know what I mean, and it was like, well, I'm only in invincible mode for like 30 seconds at a time. I like that upgrade system, but like you said, I don't think it does a good job teaching you about the upgrades. Like telling you what they are, you know? It
very much felt like playing like old school like Nintendo RPGs.
Yeah.
Where like Final Fantasy when it's like lightning is LIT.
Mm-hmm.
Like what is this spell?
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah, and like I bought an upgrade for the first sword. The first sword you find, I don't remember what it's called now, but it's the lightning one. And
okay.
And I bought an upgrade for it that was you'll shoot lightning out of it. And I was like, oh, that sounds fucking awesome. I'll use that. And then it was like, oh, but you have to because under your health bar you have those like little symbols that are like your invincible beast demon mode, whatever the fuck. And you can go into that mode and you do more damage, you get a little bit of health back. While I'm in that, then I can shoot lightning out of my sword. But I didn't realize that I had to be in that, or I wouldn't have bought it because I was like, well, I thought that'd be because the thing about it is, like you said, it really pushes you to come up and to mix up your moves and do combos, but you don't have any fucking moves until you start buying them. And then I buy them and they're locked behind my superpower moves. Fuck.
Yeah, they don't do a good job with that. Hand place, like you kind of have to like do really well.
Yeah.
To get enough of them to be able to do like anything.
I find it odd that like it rewards. So one of the things I read in the walkthroughs was that one of the go-to strategies is to run through levels as fast as you can, because the faster you beat the level, the higher grade you get, the more red orbs you get. But it's my first time playing it. I don't know where to go half the time. I got lost a few times. I want to bitch about that in a minute too. And so then I finish the level. I get a D grade because I didn't go fast enough. And then I don't get enough red orbs to level up my fucking weapons and shit to get powerful enough to go faster. And so I'm like, I suck. Give me the orbs. Let the good people not have any.
Yeah.
Fuck.
You could have had an awesome built-in speedrun mode.
I do think if you get good at this game, I do think it'd be good for speedrunning. But I don't have that kind of fucking patience.
No, absolutely not.
And then another thing was, do you remember, because I know you haven't played it in a while, there's times where you fight the enemies, but then there's also, it feels like there's entire sections of the game where you don't fight anyone. You're just walking around like trying to find shit to take to other places. Yeah. And I will say that like I enjoy those in Resident Evil. I those outside of the camera farting me around, that was my least favorite part of this game, was the puzzles. because I just thought they were boring.
For a lot of them, yeah. And it's just like, yeah, you have to go almost like the furthest reaches of the map, like all
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah. Like,
You're
dude,
like, man, this is so much walking around, not fighting
not
things.
and let's all put our cards on the table, right? Like for most people at least, I assume the part of Devil May Cry that intrigues people the most is the fighting. And so to
Yeah.
have entire
So,
sections where there's no fighting, you're like, well then now what the fuck is this? Like there's
right, like
do you remember there's a
let
part?
me grind out some red orbs.
Yeah.
Put
Yeah.
enemies back.
Do you remember the part? There's a part where you're in there, like there's 2 or 3 times where you go into this giant tower with stairs that go around the outside, like in a square all the way up. And there's one part where you have to fill it with water, swim right up to the top, and then get onto like a little platform before the water drains out, then jump over to get a key. And and I actually will say, as much as I hate swimming, the swimming controls in this game aren't bad. But it's just you're trying to get Dante to swim all the way up, and you can't really see where you have to go. And then you get up there, but if you miss that platform, it's all the way down to the bottom.
And you gotta do it again.
Do it again, and there's nothing around to hurt you. It's just wasting your time.
Yeah.
Like pulling teeth. And it's just that again, that's my feelings about this game. Every time it starts to get good, then it does something stupid. And every time I think I never want to play it again, it does something good. And it's just like fuck.
There are many things they could have did to improve this game, and they kind of do later on, I'm sure, in the series.
And like,
but I mean, reoccurring enemies would be dope.
Yeah.
Because then it would make like, oh man, I would have enjoyed it a lot more. Like I play a lot of grindy games. Like I'm a big fan of Pokemon.
Yeah.
I'll grind the shit out of that game if it's fun enough.
Yeah, but like, but even like, because you can make the enemies respawn, I think. But even if they respawn, it's the same like 3 enemies. And I should have said this half an hour ago, but like, I'm fully aware this is the first game in the series and arguably one of the first hack and slash games of this era. So I respect gaming heritage. I understand that like they were, they walked so that future games could run.
Did you ever play like Tomb Raider?
Oh yeah.
Tomb Raider was similar to this, but done way better.
Yeah, I mean the controls in Tomb Raider were pretty fucky, but I like Tomb Raider though.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Is it? I could like. I just the praise that some people, and I'm not shitting on anybody. You like what you like. It's fine. But like the praise that some people heap on this game, I guess I just expected a little more. I really feel like this is one you had to play back then. Like,
if someone asked me to play it now, I probably would not have went past that spider.
Right? Like it's just.
There's a few other games that are like that I went back to play recently. I was like, I used to play this game all the time. I'm like, I'm not getting past the first level.
Yeah. Like, let's all listen. Like, games have made us all soft today. Like the nonstop checkpoints, the tutorials, the infinity lives, we're all collectively soft today. We used to be tough. Like us kids that grew up in the NES era, we're tough. We were tough. We're not anymore.
It's had a lot of like coming from a lot of the games I used to play. This did have a lot of feels like I'd like at the time when I was young, playing that having to start the level over wasn't bad because I played like lots of Shinobi, and other like side scroller games that were like that. And so you're like, oh, okay, I ran out of lives. I got to start over.
Yeah.
At the time I was more used to it. Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't want to be too hard on that because you're right. It wasn't a big deal.
Now that I can save almost anywhere, anytime during any game, it's a little different.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I do agree. I know that like I'm really trying to fucking. There's just I don't know even as something as simply as like your inventory. Like I like the different weapons. I like that you get the lightning sword and then you get the Ifrit. Which by the way, I don't know if you knew this. I always called him Ifrit until I played Final Fantasy 16 and they said Ifrit and I'm like, oh, It's Ifrit. Did you know that? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, no, I expected that.
I played lots of Final Fantasy games.
Yeah, I figured you probably did, but I was like, oh, it's Ifrit. So I guess I had to relearn that word. But like, I like that you get the lightning sword and you get like the Ifrit flame gloves, which are awesome. And then you get like, you have your pistols, but then you get like a shotgun and then you get a grenade launcher. And I love that all the different weapons do kind of feel different and do kind of act different. And I will say that while Dante tries too hard, he looks pretty cool shooting that shotgun with one hand. That's pretty badass. I'll give him that.
Okay, yeah. The shotgun, absolutely my favorite of the guns.
Me too, 100%. But then, like, again, that's the yin. And then the yang is it's like, why can't I change items without pause? Shift over to that menu. Go to weapons. And then it's like all your guns are lifted. But then if you want to switch your melee weapon, click the melee weapon. It'll take you to another screen. Then you pick the weapon you want to equip. Then it's like, are you sure you want to equip this? And I'm like, oh, yes. And I was like, fuck. If you want me to use all these cool weapons, then like, how could they not have been tied to something? You're not using any buttons for the fucking camera. You couldn't give one to the weapons? Use the D-pad or something. So,
I agree. And then it's like, if you switch weapons, you totally come out of your flow too.
Yeah.
You're like, man, I feel like these weapons aren't doing so well, so I'm just gonna switch. And then you're like, all right, where was I? And then you get hit.
Oh, God damn it. Fuck. And again, it's just every time it does something I like, it does something I hate. And fuck me, man. It's just, it's like that. It's like that fucking horrible ex-girlfriend. And like one date, you're like, I might marry her. And then the next date, you're like, I think she's going to kill me in my sleep. I don't know what the fuck to do with this. That's, I did like, one thing that I have no qualms with though, I just liked, was despite the fact that I felt the game was fairly linear, there's a lot of shit hidden off the beaten path and like those blue orbs to get more health and stuff. And I like that it kind of, it does encourage a little bit of exploration, which I'm a fan of. I love that kind of shit.
I do love looking for stuff. I like clearing out all the special stuff, lots of stuff. Like,
yeah,
I'm a big fan of the Force Unleashed when that was out.
I never played that one.
It's hack and slashy though. You might not like it as much. But
maybe I will. Well, does the cameras work in it?
I don't. It's pretty linear. There's some weird camera stuff.
Okay,
but not too much. Not terribly as much.
Because I guess, you know what? I just said I had no qualms with this, but even that, there was a couple instances where I saw like a blue orb, and I'm like, oh, I could really use that because that's more health, and I'm not very good. I need that health. And I would climb up there and then not get it like 5 times because I couldn't figure out where to jump off the ledge to get it because of the fucking camera. And I was just like, just stay still. You don't have to turn as I jump. Just fucking stay still.
Let me just jump over.
I need that orb. Like, you don't. You're the game. You've seen how many times I've died. Give me that fucking orb, please. And they're like, fuck you.
Man.
No, they're like, fuck you. Here's the spider for the 4th fucking time. And I'm like, I've killed you 3 times. Get the fuck away from me.
It's a demon. He just keeps coming back.
I hate him. I will say, like I said, I for anyone that know, I really tried to beat this game. I wanted to put on my resume that I beat this game. But that last time you fight the nightmare, I don't know if you remember, you're in like you're almost in like a red cave, and there's a ceiling on it, so you don't have a ton of room to move around, and the camera is basically always on like the one wall. And when this fucking giant blob thing moves, it opens up sometimes so the orbs come out of it that you can attack them. But the orbs will be behind it, so the camera's facing the nightmare. You can't even see the orb behind it. But that's your only chance to attack, so you have to go back there and hit attack. But then you're watching its health bar to see if you're hitting it. But while you're hitting it, it's teeing off on you, and you can't even see what it's hitting you with. Like, and that was where I bought 7 yellow orbs, which are like extra lives to try again. I spent every orb I had to buy those yellow ones, and I died on it 8 times. And that was when I was like, go fuck yourself. I'm done. I don't even care what the ending is because I don't know what the fuck's going on anyways. That was what broke me. 8 times. I was like, go fuck yourself. I'm done. But then
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
just
but you probably went back a couple times.
I tried, man. I finally yesterday, as I started playing Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem for the show. Have you ever played that? It's a
No.
GameCube game. It's
Sound,
fucking weird, man. It's a weird game.
sounds interesting.
It's funky. But that was when I finally like took Devil May Cry out of my PS2, put it back on the shelf, unhooked my PS2 and put it away, and I was like, I tried, Dante. I guess you're just gonna rot in hell with that blob and its orbs forever, buddy. So I hope you brought lots of dippity doo for your hair, Mr. Cool Guy, because you're fucked now. I gave up. But I fucking hate him. You know, he's like Squall from Final Fantasy VIII, but he's trying to be cool. That's what it felt like to me. It was like Squall like cosplaying.
I have only like watched bits and pieces. That's like the one Final Fantasy game I did not play.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
It's funny because that one's even more divisive than Devil May Cry is. That one's all over the map. I like it, but I think I'm in the minority.
I think I would have liked it had I continued playing it. I absolutely hated 13. I
Yeah.
gave that game away. Someone I offered to give me money for it, and I was like, if you like it, you can give me money for it. And I never saw it die.
That's one of the ones I haven't played yet. I got to play 13 eventually, just to see.
No, I would highly recommend against it. I'm not even. If you want to talk about super long fucking tutorials, it's like a day.
Well, but
full 24 hours of tutorial.
but do the cameras work? He's like, I'm not saying anything nice about Final Fantasy.
I did not get through the tutorial.
Oh, that's fair. All right.
A lot of it was just small maps. It's kind of like this.
That's fair.
It was just like, let me control the guys and I can beat all of this. I know how to play Final Fantasy. I'm not an idiot. That was so bad. I hated it.
That's how I feel about. Oh man, listen. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I think we're getting close to wrapping this up. But like, when I came in here, I was ready to go like full blown scorched earth. Devil May Cry could go fuck itself. And
I would still pick up a different version.
You know what? Yeah, I think everyone's telling me skip 2, play 3, and I played 3 15 years ago, and I don't remember anything about it. 12 years ago, whatever. I don't remember anything about it. But like, having played this now, I'm like, I don't really feel the urge to go back to this one. I respect it. I respect what it did for gaming, but I'm like, I'm done. Your camera sucks. I won't play you anymore. Maybe I will go back to 3 at some point down the road and give it one more chance. Because I'm not as angry as I thought I would be now.
I talked you down a little.
You did. You calmed me down. What'd you say that class you take is? Music's going around your head?
It's a breathwork class.
Yeah, breathwork. You're my breathwork. I feel a little bit better now. So we need to figure out how to score this fucking thing.
Do you want to do 23?
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, there's 23 levels. Yeah. Oh, yeah, okay. And I have one other thing I want to quickly touch on, but yeah. All right. So, Mick, you're the guest. Out of 23, what would you give the original Devil May Cry?
I would probably give this like a 15.
Yeah.
Slightly more than half.
I'm gonna like, if I know I'm harping on it, but like if the camera wasn't so bad, I'd probably get up and around that 19 or 20 mark. But that camera, man. Again, I'm sorry, Mega Man Legends. Your camera's fine. Yeah, I'm gonna give it I'll give it like a 16. I'll give it the C that I got on so many levels. At the end of the level, my grade when I beat the level was like usually a C or a D. So I will give it a C because that's what it gives me. Fuck you, Devil May Cry. I wanted to just quickly say, man, am I glad that I would love to know more about how this was going to be Resident Evil 4. Because you can see Resident Evil influence in it.
Oh, 100%.
Right? Like, I'd love to see what their plan was before and why they scrapped it and made Resident Evil 4 like it is.
Well, I'm hoping that the bosses were just better.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, dude, Resident Evil 4 is I'm just putting my cards on it. Resident Evil 4 is better than this game in every way. Like Resident Evil 4 is one of the greatest video games of all time. Some say Devil May Cry is. I disagree, but it's like because I played. Have you ever played Resident Evil Code Veronica? You said you're not a big Resident Evil guy.
No, I haven't.
Okay, that I played that. It was a PS2 Resident Evil game, and that felt like this, but as Resident Evil. And I was playing this, and I was like, boy, there's a lot of this game has got Resident Evil. This is like Resident Evil's cousin at worst. Like there's that Resident Evil DNA in it. But
yeah, I think I had an issue with a lot of the cameras too in Resident Evil, especially the earlier ones.
No question. Yeah, they're not good.
Right. So I could definitely that was the thing. It did remind me of like it had like a camera just like this is where you are, and Resident Evil has that same thing.
Yeah, and I want to just say, because I know some people on my streams and stuff were like, but you like Resident Evil, and it has the fucky cameras too. I will say these cameras aren't as frustrating when you're playing a game as like a lot slower like Resident Evil is. It's when you try to get into like a fast-paced action one that camera fucks you around, in my opinion.
Yes, totally agree. It's not the same thing at all. Especially when one's like a horror and one's like, yeah, you got to race down some stuff. You got to fight guys that are around you and you can't see them.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's really cool that they still managed to make it. It's like, you know, because it's Halloween season, you know, like you carve a pumpkin and then you throw away its guts and you just have a cool looking pumpkin on your front step. But it's like Resident Evil 4 was the jack-o'-lantern, and then they took the guts and made pumpkin seeds, and that's what Devil May Cry was. Like it's cool because like I guarantee you, dude, there's got to be countless game engines and game concepts and stuff that have just been thrown away and never touched again. And it's neat to see Capcom be like, no, we can make something out of this, and to turn it into like a whole new franchise. Man, I'm a big Capcom guy. Like Capcom is one of the best third-party developers in gaming. Like between Mega Man and Resident Evil and Street Fighter and Devil May Cry and Monster Hunter, like they're doing well. Good for them.
Those are all actually fantastic games.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, I like Street Fighter, but bad doesn't even begin to describe my skill at Street Fighter. But you're right. And like
since a lot of the newer ones, I agree.
Yeah, but like Resident Evil's the shit. Mega Man is god tier. God, I love Mega Man. And you know what? We're gonna say it's a hung jury on Devil May Cry, and I'm not gonna let anybody know when. I don't know if it'll be in like 6 months, if it'll be in 2 years. I'm just gonna surprise everyone with a Devil May Cry 3 episode someday. You've bought Metal Gear Solid is dead. Metal Gear Solid will never get on Remember the Game again, unless maybe I do the NES one. But Devil May Cry, you've bought yourself at least one more episode, and then I'll decide. We'll see. But Mick, it was fucking good talking to you, pal.
You as well, man.
And,
it was a good time.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for doing this. As soon as I sat down to play this, I texted you and I was like, you played Devil May Cry, didn't you? And you wrote back, fuck yeah. And I was like, I knew it. I don't know why. I was like, I could just see you playing this fucking game. So
over and over and over.
I like it. Yeah, fuck yeah. Buddy, good talking to you, and we'll do it again soon.
Sounds good, man. Bye.
And that's going to do it for this week's episode. Miklos, thank you so much for giving me a call and talking a little Devil May Cry. And to you, kind listener, listening to this episode, whether this was your first Remember the Game or maybe your 269th, I don't fucking know. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you for giving us a chance. I know there's a lot of retro gaming podcasts out there, and we appreciate that you took a chance on ours. If you liked it, listen, give us a good review. I haven't gotten a good review in a while, and I'm not being like, hey, all of you leave me a good review, but they make me feel nice. When I'm feeling unpretty, they make me feel kind of pretty. So leave us a good review if you liked it. If you didn't like it, maybe just leave us alone. Don't leave us a bad review. Just leave us the fuck alone. If you didn't like it, how the fuck did you make it this far? I can't imagine anybody made it this far if you don't like the show. So anyways, if you want more of these, I got you. I got you, fam. As the kids say, there's over 500 bonus podcasts waiting for you at patreon.com/rememberthegame with up to 4 additional shows going live every week, ad-free, on your phone. Listen to them wherever you want. Ching ching. You can find, or I already said the address, patreon.com/rememberthegame. Subscriptions start at $3 a month. We donate part of it to charity. It's about the best deal in the history of gaming. I have a Twitch channel, twitch.tv/memberthegame, which I get on a couple of days a week. And like I said at the beginning of the show, don't forget, November 3rd and 4th, I will be on there from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Mountain Time both days, streaming to raise money for the Stollery Children's Hospital. Come by, make a donation of $20, get a tax receipt, and be entered to win a whole bunch of cool shit. That would be awesome. I don't have anything else I feel like plugging today. I think that's going to do it. I'll be back tomorrow for all of our Patreons with my Starfield spoiler-free review. Going to be a big one. Hope you can come by and check it out. And we'll be back next week with Remember the Game 270, which, if I get it done in time, will be about Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem. And if I don't get it done in time, maybe, possibly the Addams Family on the NES. Because I brought it up a few weeks ago and asked if anyone knew about it, and a whole bunch of people said they did. And I love that game, and I'd like to talk about it. It's Halloween. We should do some scary shit. That's probably going to be the next 2 episodes. All right. I'm going to thank some Patreons and get out of here. Thanks for listening, everybody, and I'll talk to you on the next one. Cheers. So long. Goodbye. Remember the Game is brought to you by our Patreon. That sounds like a radio guy. Remember the Game is brought to you by our Patreons. We could not puke up all the content we churn out every week without all of your support. The following people are the senior executive vice president level, or higher at patreon.com/rememberthegame, and as such, I'm contractually obligated to say all their names as quickly as possible. So a huge thank you to Makeshift Mellow Magic Money, Joe Buck, Sharonic, Andre, The Keegs, James Clark, Dave McGee, Dan of DNA Gaming, Slick Rick, Doug Dorn, Chris Fleury, Andrew Wright, Jordan, Fraser Burns, Lil Bunny Fufu 89, Angry Ticks, Dave Thompson, No One Cares, Scott Brooks, Aaron Lawson, Nathan Tremblay, A-Town, Morgan, Zane, Donovan, Ryan Kinchin, Mike Maloney, G9PSX, Mercury 869, Wolfgang, Darren, Andy Hudson. It sounded weird for some reason. Doogie, Wolf Magic 21, Johnny from Virginia, Squints, Titan 420, Zonko 504, Jeff Bergeron, Captain N, Daniel, Tunable Power, John Woodruff, Randy Barrage, Just a Fish, Lever Trehe, Denzalo, Holmes, Zach Shepard, Ballsack, Teabagger, Frosty Feet 492, Triple Chugger 22, Elijah Burns, It's That Nerd James, Madam Nudsich. Sure, I fucked that up. DBXJ, Jameer Williams, Steve Dalk, Mizuru, Juris Dr. Mario, Tyler, Phil Lencher, Joe the Sandman, Eric James, Nick Amos, Jake Carter, Thomas Childs, Biddy, Laces Out Damn, Beaver Boy, C-Spin, Thomas Smith, Nicola, Leroy Westrich, Rush's Dog Walker, Sean Ramos, Stud Still Smash, Matt Babineau, Gabe, Dan Fusselman, Fuzzy99, Decoy Man, a dude named Adam, Wyatt the Surgeon who's not a surgeon, Roe, Blaine the Hoagie Man, Scary Terry, Storm Beagle, Earl, Hagel Waffle, High Plains Drifter, Esteban Navarro, K-Atch, Timothy, Chris Williams, Oroku Saki's Gardner, Cody Richardson, General Fury, Them Boys on the Roof, Max Lagroom, James Juan Francesco, John of the Adult Children Podcast, Franklin Badge, Jugs Bed, MK, Sam Carpenter, Donnie the Dude Walter, Nerdy Hybrid, The Fletchman, Colin Bollinger, Sleeper Hit, Squeak Nuts, Isaias, Timmy the Exuberant Turtle, Christian Gabriel, Maverick Marty, Radioactive Man, Musty Beetle, Graham Kennedy, On My Foot, John M. Watkins, Timothy Sabrinsky, Beef Dingleberry, Hitchy Poo, Ian, Bulma Simp, Chevy Boy 9211, Burt Macklin, Quiet Place Queen, Cam Nelly 23, Christopher Britt, Zamatos, Big the Cat, Oh My God It Froze, Bobby Litton, Brandon DeZeba, Kia Pup, Knife Goes In, Guts Come Out, AB Killen, Works For Me, Dakota Guy, Alexander Camps, Neil Cooper, Tom Houlihan, Ted Explosion, Ryan Perry, Alex R, It's the Bigfoot, Lucas Valadez, Itchy Nutsaru, Mr. Papa Giorgio, Just Car Prank, Solomon Soto, Dark Skywalter, Postman, WetchGen, Nick Creature, Adam Martinet, NAFE, The Big Deal, Dr. Nightmare 23, Kevin Monroe, Can't Destroy Her, Adam Blank still hasn't reviewed Adam Blank, Mario Galaxy still hasn't reviewed Adam Blank, that fucked me up. Beers of War, I guarantee you sitting there laughing like a fucking dink, too. Fuck you. Beers of War, Because 19, Digital Dave, Marcus Mendoza, Lord Longrod Von Hugendon II, Roger Staubox, Pool Cleaner, Frosty Bear, Max Sandin, Sour Goatface, Alex Ramos, Faded Suffrage, Benjamin Atkins, Carbon Fiber Zombie, Chris Hill, Mellow Yellow 8787, B Money, Higher Goons, Who, It's OG, Tyler Bauer, Fallen Snow Kiku, The Supreme, Chozorizo, E-Man Trucker, Mark Sneed, Raging Irish, Atrio Wormwood, Shoeboxers, Tornado, Adam Blank still has reviewed Mario Galaxy, thank you, Jake Callahan, Robbie Air, Guy Who Does Things, Sabin, Brian Richmond, Blobby Rogers, Glue Scappin, Bula, Adam Blank's Evil Twin, Matt Zeus, Buy Me Bone Storm, Cesar, Philip My Mouth with Farts, Liquor Like Luigi, Cody Thompson, Uncanny Elephant Calves, Scissor Fist, Big Daddy Randall, Ryan Whitcomb, Flinny 123. This fucking list is getting long. Austin from Past the Present Player Podcast, Lord Stay Puff, Johnny Zubu 81, AJ McKirsey, Lotus, Philip Ramsey, Nothing Could Possibly Go Wrong, Alex McIntyre, S, Bearded Bastard, Alan Blank Loves Mario Is Missing, Eric Hopewell, Clockwork Orange, These Nuts, Kawa My Bunga, David Schroeder, Theodore Phillip, Forsaken Hero, Diablo Spartan, Justin Blair, Wilco, and VOS Rager. Thanks, everybody. Whew. That is getting long. See ya.